All right, what do we see on the charts today? 4-hour chart, still uptrending, very close to the 50 SMA as support level. I drew in the dotted line. It's not quite on it actually, but it's really close to where that SMA is. I think the dotted line was put there for another reason, but it happens to line up pretty well with that. Okay, but as we zoom in, we can also see that we have a pattern, a zigzag pattern going on here, and each peak is lower, and each low is lower as well. And the MACD here is below the average and is falling. So I think that it will most likely drop to this point right here. And that's what the dotted line was lined up with actually, was the 180 SMA on the 1-hour chart. I've kind of stopped marking the 4-hour charts SMAs just because I don't think they're that valid to me. So anyway, I think this one's a lot better. So anyway, that's kind of the way I'm leaning this morning. You can see the RSI is losing momentum as well. That's pretty obvious that it would be. And as we zoom in a little bit further, we can also see a little bit of an interesting situation here. I don't know if maybe the next chart will show it better. Maybe not. All right, so we have some peaks right through here. And this one is slightly higher than this one, but not a lot. But you can see that the RSI has actually lost momentum. So that's another sign in our direction. It's very subtle, very small. It's not like a super strong one. But the fact that it hasn't gone up above that as well, I think is pretty obvious. Pretty telling, I should say. And it's sitting right on the POC as support right through here, so that would be one sign against us. The POC from yesterday, I should say. And so it's been pretty flat all night. Took a big drop yesterday, obviously. And so that's kind of my thought process for this morning. So let's go to the live charts and see what we can see. Okay, so it's second quarter GDP data. They're saying Wall Street's largely unturned. I think that came out just a couple minutes ago. At 8:30, we had a big candle that formed, and from the top to the bottom, 408 to 416. That was an 8.5 point jump in one, in one very small minute there. So I was kind of glad that I was not in the market at that point. All right, so if it is going to drop, then it would be dropping down to this area here, because that is where the SMA is. And that would be a long ways down there. So we probably won't ride it out all that distance. However, I think being really close to wanting to go short here, I think we want to wait for a good opportunity. Now the MACD is below the average here, so it's possible it could get up a bit further, but it is at a resistance level right through here. So let me just forget about that lower part there. All right, now the band that it was in overnight, right through here, I would say something along these lines. That actually matches up pretty well with that as well. All right, so I don't know if that'll help us or not, but I think that is interesting that is pretty much where that wick went as well. just on the inside of that. So it's possible it could get up to, there or so before it starts dropping. Maybe I will just plan on getting out here. All right. Didn't lose anything. I'll just sit it out a little bit longer. Not sure what's going on here. Well, now it's looking really good. I should have hung on, I guess. Just wasn't sure. Well, it went right down to where I thought it was going to go, and I could have been done for the day. I had just had enough guts to hang on. But man, oh man, it was really nerve-wracking. All right, well, I guess I made the right call. I can look at it that way. Let's keep a positive light on it. So now it's probably going to bounce up, and it will probably get to a little bit lower point. Let's probably here. So we'll lower that down to that. And when it gets up to that point, if it looks like it's ready to turn, then I'll get into another short. How about that? All right, so the reason I put the order in there was because we have a pretty big red candle which encompassed the last one there, and looks like it's ready to drop. But I think maybe, I don't know, we'll see if it fills. Okay, might fill yet. All right. Beautiful. All right, lock in that profit. Oh, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, looks like I'm gonna get stopped out. Yep. All right, cool though. I'm decently happy with that. Yep, I'm sad I didn't make a good trade. I jumped in too soon. Just was not good. And stopped out. Well, shoot. Not a big loss, but lost what I made yesterday and lost what I made this morning. Okay, so I got into another short here. It looked really like it was turning over, like it reached a high and then it's starting to fall. So 5-minute chart looks good. 15 not so good, but on the other hand, it is at a resistance level up here. So it's possible, I'm going to move this down here. It's possible that we will be getting at more at that point, which would still be a good trade. Okay, so I put only on the screen this morning's activity, and we can see that the POC, oh, well, it was down here. Now it's popped back up there again. And looking pretty good. Except that, how far will it drop? Should we just take what we can get? Or is this truly turning over and going to be dropping? And I'm going off of just the general trend that it's staying in this band pretty much. I mean, it expanded it a little bit, but it's not wanting to go too far one way or the other. However, it hit the resistance and had a big drop, which I saw coming and didn't have the guts to hang on for it. Trusted myself not. And now it's fallen and it's kind of formed a bottom again, which isn't the lowest. I expected it to drop down here, but it's got to go back up and retest a level, and therefore I think perhaps it could get up to that point. The MACD is not looking real good on the 15-minute here. On the 5-minute, it hasn't quite turned, but it's close. And then on the 1-minute, definitely imminent. Imminently ready to go up. And that would be a good trade. Good trade. How about that? It's only $75 on the line. Let's see if that'll make a mistake. Gotta be bold sometimes.